Texter writes in, if the Dolphins want an offensive-minded coach, Eric Bieniemy would be an awesome get. He would be. Eric Bieniemy. Some Doug Peterson, Byron Leftwich. Do you buy into the fact that the Dolphins should get somebody experienced? They've gone first-time head coach.
Yes.
Every single time, I think, under the Ross regime.
Man, so no Byron.
I would like.
Saying? I would take Byron.
Although I'm really intrigued by the Kansas City coach, and I'm not gonna put this. I'm gonna put this out there to say that there's a process you have to go through as far as interviewing, and so I'm guessing he's had a couple of interviews, and he's not there yet. You see what I mean?
For a team that's like still in it?
Well, I'm just saying I just think there's got to be something that they or teams that interviewed him wanted to see or hear out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that just comes with going through the process of interviewing where you understand what you have to do to impress management and the owner. You know what I mean? But I would definitely like to go with someone who's had, experience with everything. And I would like to know, my first question would be, what are your plans with the defense?
Really? That's your question?
Because it is from this standpoint, is that if you neglect your bread and butter or what a coach is going to do with that, and that team or that side of the ball takes a step backwards, it's not going to look.
I mean, we could guarantee they're going to go an offensive coach, right? Like they're not going to go, the first guy they interviewed was Brian. They request permission interview was Bills OC Brian Dable. Dable from the Miami Herald says, also has a relationship with Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. He was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Alabama. He went to rehab in 2017.
Yeah. See that? That coach in rehab. While everybody laughed at me, that's a real thing.
There are reports also, we should mention this, Deshaun Watson, there were reports that one of the big reasons he wanted to come here was because of Brian Flores. That was out there from NFL Network yesterday. Now, I don't know if it deters him, like if it's still Miami and it's still the city that he wants to be in. I don't know if that also sways him. We'll see. We'll see if the Dolphins are rats off a ship on the Deshaun Watson thing, if that was strictly a Flores special or if everybody was behind that. Here is Stephen Ross yesterday when he was asked about the Deshaun Watson situation.
I have no plans. It will be up to the head coach in terms of what he does with the quarterback. Tua, as I said before, I have a lot of confidence in Tua, but it's really going to depend who the next head coach is and the direction that he wants to take that position.
There you go.
I like it. I like that he said that. I like that he says he's leaving the decision up to, because that makes the decision to come here more appealing.
Yeah, and I wonder.
You see what I mean?
And I wonder what the Tua is Tua going to be looked upon like a positive, or is somebody looking at that as like a reclamation project? Like, if you're coming here, will they truly have the freedom to say, "Hey, maybe we'll go after Aaron Rodgers, maybe we'll go after Russell Wilson, maybe we'll go with Tua, maybe we'll go after Deshaun Watson," or do they really want somebody to fix Tua?
If you believe what Stephen Ross said.
I'm taking everything that he says with a grain of salt, dude.
Yeah,
like a salt lick, like a horse in a field. I used to give horses salt blocks.
I'm not sure what that was.
No, it makes sense to me as a former farmer. Okay. Like, we used to put the salt licks out for the horses. It was a delight for them. They really enjoyed it.
It's a really small market there with that.
Yeah,
so you just take a block of salt and they walk by and lick it?
Yeah, they really enjoy it, dude.
What do they?
What's going on?
What do they enjoy about
it? Well, when I had my my first horse, Hoovy, he was out there. He loved him some salt.
Excuse me.
Hoovy. He has hooves.
So I guess this is where the creativity came from.
I was, I named him when I was 6.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
It's like when my son gets a new turtle. I'm like, what's his name? Shelly.
It's a good name, though.
It is. You know, so I had my horse. His name was Hoovy, and he loved a salt lick. So that's how I'm taking. Just like Hoovy took, took a lick of salt. That's how I'm taking Stephen Ross's word.
Why is that good for horses?
Oh, I don't know. They just loved it.
All right.
You know, it balanced them out back in the day. You know, you can't just can't just all be apples and carrots. You got to have your salt too. You know, can't have a good racehorse without some sodium
or a milkshake. So you're saying you're not buying what Stephen Ross is saying?
Not really. No, I don't buy the Jim Harbaugh. He's not going to go after him. Wink. I already set it up. I don't believe that's
happen,
like I don't believe the Harbaugh. Yeah, I don't believe the Harbaugh thing is dead, and I don't believe that. And with the quarterback thing, it's like I kind of don't know what to believe there. Like are they going to? So you're going to tell me that this franchise was moving, maybe appeared to be moving heaven and earth to try and get these cases settled with Deshaun Watson, and now all of a sudden they're just like, Flo's not here, we don't have to worry about it. Like they still want to go after him after all that work that they did, if this was truly a Flo versus Tua thing, which it appears, the relationship was kind of icy. Was this, hey, we made Ross and Greer are stuck on this was our guy, and we want to make it work for him, and Flo wasn't in on that plan.
Right. I would say that here's what they would ask of the new coach. I want you to go all in on Tua. I want you to really go all in on Tua.
Mm-hmm.
While if you get to the point where you think you need to make a change there, we'll respect that. If we think that you've given, that a chance to work.
Here's
I think before anything ever started with Tua, we always got the feeling that Brian Flores didn't like Tua.
I don't know what led you to that feeling. Was it because he just hit us with the lukewarm Tua as our quarterback?
I mean, I had a conversation with Tua about all that was going on. Same conversation we've been having for a little while, which is he's our quarterback. Tua's our quarterback. I've said that multiple times. I mean, I think I've said this multiple times. Tua's our quarterback. Tua's our quarterback. Tua's our quarterback. Like I said, Tua's our quarterback. Tua's our quarterback. I basically answer it every day.
Even when he
same way, Tua's our quarterback. I think when I say Tua's the quarterback, I don't know what more I can say.
Now, with all those things you just heard.
Yep.
Did you feel real confident that he believed that?
No, never did.
Okay.
Never did.
And so
I honestly think that was
from a manager and the owner perspective, I think that's you want a guy, even if it doesn't work out, okay? You want a guy to be all in so you can make an honest evaluation.
Yeah.
You don't want to make an evaluation based on what the coach thinks Tua is going to be.
Do you think that
you want to make an evaluation of what Tua is? So
do you think like Tua, do you think last night like a call from an unknown comes up on Brian Flores' cell phone and they go burp, burp, and Flores just goes, hello? And it's just not your quarterback anymore. Daddy loves you.
Daddy loves you guys.
Why all of a sudden you make Tua like
No. He doesn't know that it's Tua. He doesn't know that. It never says that it's Tua.
Really?
It's an unknown number. Yeah. It's an unknown number.
Unknown number.
And Flo answers. He goes, hello?
Flo's answering an unknown number?
Yeah, I think he is. Because what if it's another team with a job offer?
He's looking for a job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I think he does, and he goes, hello? And Tua goes,
now, let me ask you this.
Daddy loves you.
Daddy loves you guys.
If you're Chicago.
Yeah.
If you're Chicago and your team is built on defense and running the ball, do you bring in Flores and ask him, what are you going to do with the offense and the young quarterback? Who are you going to bring in?
Yeah, and I don't know what his answer is for that because he hasn't. Right. He clearly hasn't solved that. Which
Justin is our quarterback.
Justin's our quarterback. I think when I say that, Justin's our quarterback. Justin's our quarterback. I don't know. I don't know. Like if you are a Jaguars, if you are a Chicago, if you are one of those teams with a young quarterback that you're building off of, and you do see this, I'm sure that Shad Khan is calling up Stephen Ross and he's getting the goods on Flores of what the hell happened. And then I think there are going to be people who are like, that be damned, the guy's a winner. The guy went out there and he got back-to-back winning seasons when the team was actually trying to win. They had good seasons, and I do think that there are teams like Chicago and certainly Jacksonville, which has been a joke, which would like some stability, which would like some consistency.
Right.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I think whoever is the coach here, as long as he gives Tua every opportunity to succeed, because we don't want to have these questions, in a year. If they come in and they design an offense and then it just becomes about Tua making the right reads or the right throws or whatever, then I think we can all deal with that. Okay? But what's hard to evaluate a quarterback by who took 2 years to get, to 16 games is the wishy-washiness and the feeling that you got at times that he didn't even want Tua as the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. No, you definitely got that feeling. You definitely did.
Right.
You definitely got the idea that he, what was it? It was the.
That being said, that's one of the reasons why I would like a veteran coach, because a veteran coach would come in, see what the situation is, do what he can to make the situation as best as it can, and he's not gonna feel that he has to make sudden changes or do sudden things or make these drastic changes throughout the team, because he's going to first try to implement something that makes them all successful. When you've coached before, you've been in situations with players where you understand this dynamic of having a successful football team. When you're a young coach, you don't want to get fired after a year, so all you care about is winning, and sometimes there's no continuity being built, either with coaching staff, with players, with shuffling offensive lines, with all these things. These are the things that have happened here in the last couple of years.
Texter writes, you know what the sad part is with the Dolphins organization? They're too comfortable with going through this process. They don't bat an eye when it comes to it, to firing a coach, but they'll ride and die with a so-so GM. I agree with that. This whole sticking with one thing, or I think what they're too comfortable with, this is what I think they're too comfortable with. I think that Stephen Ross is too comfortable with somebody putting all of the blame on somebody and him kind of just riding with that. That's what I think. That's what I think it is. It's like it always feels like there's this house divided going on, and for him saying that, I need cohesion and I need an organization to be together and we can't function. Well, okay, man, then why do you always go and pick a side? Like, why does that always happen? And why do you always think mixing these marriages together is going to work? Because it never does. And so I would think, like, after all these years of doing it, you would think and say, well, this guy's been here since I've been here. I'm starting to see Chris Greer in this situation. This guy's been here since I've been here. We haven't won a playoff game since I've been the owner. Maybe if I'm really going to infuse some new blood. And I know Chris Greer hasn't had the same responsibility the entire time that he's here, but he's been here. And this idea that you're going to just continue to stick on the same hamster wheel with something and always just say, well, listen, we got a new water bottle here in the hamster cage. We're good. Nah, dude, you don't know how that flow's going to come, no pun intended, from that water bottle. How hydrated that hamster's going to be.
I would say this. If you want us as fans to have patience, then the organization needs to have patience. That means that you pick a guy and you stick with him for a few years, right? Or, here's a thought. If you have these questions after 1 or 2 or 3 years, pick better guys. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But a whole crew.
Like, I think all of this and all these coaching hires, all of them have the same feel. It's time to change it up. Why don't you get an established coach, a coach you can have a good conversation with that's not also going through the same things as your quarterback?
Yeah, but you want to know something, dude? Like, they always do this thing. Like, you know they're going to take an offensive guy. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get fixed. You know, the Chargers, you know, Staley's a defensive guy. Team can't stop a nosebleed. What do they lean on? They lean on their offense. Who's the guy you always bring up? Billick. Dude, Billick was an offensive guru.
Offensive guru.
A guru.
He was the master behind the Vikings when we broke record for most points scored in the NFL season.
Won a Super Bowl, you know, all-time defense with Trent Dilfer. Right. You know? So
sometimes you have a plan as the way you want things to work out. As a coach and a professional, it is your job to see what the strengths and weaknesses are of your team and your players and design something or design success around that. I think new coaches sometimes have a system and they try to plug that system and make that system work and aren't always, you know, open to tweaking it because they just got there. A veteran coach might just sit back, let it evolve, and then coach it up as it's evolving, which means you're going to have more long-term success. So, although I made fun of Brian Billick, you got to give him a lot of credit for understanding this. I know I am an offensive guru, and I would like our offense to score 50 points a game, but that's not why we're winning games. And I'm going to stand back and let those guys do what they do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just because they're going to go out and they're going to try and get somebody who's an offensive mind doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to fix Tua or it's going to make the offensive talent that they have any better.
It doesn't mean that they're going to all of a sudden light the world on fire in offense. But you also need a coach that's good enough to acknowledge that although he's an offensive coach, this is why we're winning games, and emphasize those things. You see what I mean? Like, it's easy for Brian Flores to identify the defense as being the reason why they win games. He's a defensive-minded coach. But what if that was the offense? What if the offense was scoring 30 times a game and your defense was giving up a lot of points? You don't all of a sudden just stop doing what you're doing offensively.
Yeah, but it doesn't guarantee anything either. Like, just because like the offense,
none of this guarantees
like I'm saying, like the offense doesn't just suck because, you know, the coaching staff wasn't great. I mean, also the talent's just not that good. Like, do you really like? We look at this offense and you look at this roster. I'm wondering from the Dolphin fans, like, who are the guys here who you think are truly, like, other than Jalen Waddle, which you said earlier in the show, who are the guys in this offense that you truly look at and you're like, this guy is special? I love Tua. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Tua guy. Love the way that he handles himself, all that type of stuff. And I still think that there's something there and can get better. But he has not shown himself to be anything of an elite prospect yet. He hasn't.
No. Is it because he's not? Or is it because he hasn't been put in the right situation?
I don't know. That's a fair question. I don't know.
And that's the question that needs to be answered in the next couple of years, right?
For sure.
So
probably by next year.
Okay. If you're an owner and you see this situation playing out, I mean, what do you make of it? You know, you want Tua to work out. But up to this point, there's really been no real circumstances or situations where you can give an honest evaluation because him and the coach don't get along.
It's a horrible situation to evaluate a quarterback. That's for sure. Between the offensive line, between the constant turnover with the play calling, whoever the hell was calling the plays this year, between Godsey and Studesville and Charlie Fry and all that nonsense that was going on. That was all.
Fry, the quarterback?
Yeah, he's their quarterback's coach.
Man, he was the OG Glennon. Right? That tall,
he does kind of
like balding, looked like he was 47.
I don't think he has a giraffe neck though.
No giraffe neck.
No, he doesn't look like he could go. He doesn't look like he could go take out a tree.
Hey, what do you like? Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you, but go ahead.
Oh, no, just saying the texter says, go on the record right now, Tobin. Are you on the Tua train or off the Tua train? Put it out there now. We're talking about a quarterback that's 14-8. 14-8. Yeah, 14-8, but is somehow seen as a failure. Put aside the silly sauce. That's where you missed up, sir. You in or out on our QB1? Wow. That guy's very mad at me.
Put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. I'm in.
Whoa.
I'm in.
I'm marking this.
Now, see, here's why you are so unbelievable.
Oh, God.
This is why nobody can believe you.
Yikes.
Because
I really don't have a choice but to be
if somebody mentions Deshaun Watson on Twitter, here's how tomorrow's show going to start. Leroy.
It's not true, though. I haven't been in on Deshaun Watson. I haven't been in on Deshaun Watson. Dude, I need to find out if the guy's a creep or not. I'm not in on that.
It's really important.
I would like to know. I would like to know whether the guy, if the guy is.
Here's what I would have done. And I would have come out and I would have said this. It does not matter who wants Deshaun Watson until his legal issues are settled. It is a non-starter.
Right. But they didn't.
And that would be the end of the Deshaun Watson conversation.
Yeah, but they didn't. And
because they kind of did the thing.
Yeah, they just said, "Oh, it's up to the coach. Whoever's the coach can pick the quarterback."
Well, no, he said no. He didn't say that with Deshaun Watson. He said they asked him, "Is Tua going to be?"
No, they asked him about Deshaun Watson. They asked him. They said, "Will they pursue him?" And he says, "That's up to the coach."
And
you have it again, Marcos? Can you get?
He said,
"Get the."
He said it's up to the coach to decide what to do with the quarterback.
But he was specifically asked about Deshaun Watson. He was specifically asked about Deshaun Watson. Here is the Marcos will get the cut for you in a second. He was specifically asked about them going after Deshaun Watson in the offseason because they went after him this season, and it was reported that he had it was a report that he got permission to talk. Remember, there was a report that Stephen Ross got permission to talk to Deshaun Watson. Here's what he had to say.
I have no plans. It will be up to the head coach in terms of what he does with the quarterback. Tua, as I said before, I have a lot of confidence in Tua, but it's really going to depend who the next head coach is and in the direction that he wants to take that position.
Yeah, so it's like it's I have no plans.
He didn't say anything about Deshaun Watson.
But I'm telling you right now, that's a response to a question.
He was asked, right.
He was asked about Deshaun Watson. And he's saying, I have no plans. So, but he says he has no plans. I have faith in Tua, but it's up to the coach. It's a non-answer.
Okay. I got you.
He didn't go in the direction like you said and said, not until the legal issues are settled. He didn't say that.
I feel like that's his version of Tua is our quarterback.
It was. He has faith, except he says, I have faith in Tua. It's like a little better. It's a little better.
Yeah.
It's a little better.
I mean, I could have used that from Flo.
Flo never said I had faith in Tua.
Yeah.
Never said I had faith in Tua.
Love Fitz, though.
No.
Loves Fitz.
He always made it sound like when he said Tua was our quarterback that it could change tomorrow.
Do you think that Flores called up Fitzpatrick last night and they had a good cry?
You think what?
Do you think Flores called up Fitzpatrick last night and they had a good cry? Or do you think they just called Tua a bum?
No.
What do you think that show pony did? You know that he peeked his head into all this. It was my team, Flo. No, it was my team. Oh, boo, boo, it was my team. Water slide.
Wait, he hasn't been here in a year. Let it go.
I will not let it go. You know what? That dude hosted a pity party. Get the hell out of here. And you want to know something? Flores, he encouraged it. He built a fire under that.
He certainly didn't do Tua any favors when Ryan Fitzpatrick.
My team Hawaiian shirt.
Who's that? Whose idea was it for the benching? Remember, like out of nowhere, you think that was like a Greer overpowered Flores last year?
What do you mean benching?
When Fitzpatrick was going well, and then all of a sudden they're like, we need to move in another direction. Tua's our quarterback now.
I don't know.
I need answers, Tobin.
It's a good question, dude. I don't know. You know what? Everything is Flores. Guess what? Flores is fired. Everything's his fault. That's how it works in this game. That's how it works. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to question anything. Just know that every piece of dirt that comes out on Flores is true. It's his fault. He was a bum coach the entire time, and Chris Greer's been holding him up. That's what the Dolphins want you to think. So,
well then,
dude had his flaws. Clearly didn't back his quarterback.
Shouldn't have been fired though.
Shouldn't have been fired. I agree with that. Didn't deserve to get fired.
Here's what I would do. And this is what I don't know. This may have happened. I would have given him every opportunity with a meeting or whatever to kind of get an idea of what his plans were, right? How are we going to move forward at this position? What are we going to do, right? Mm-hmm. Just to get a general idea of what Flo wanted to do. And then I would have asked, I would have said, hey, Flo, do you honestly think that you gave Tua a fair shake if you no longer want him?
I really wish we could get like the honest answer, because like Flo puts out the classy statement yesterday, and the Dolphins put out the statement yesterday. I want to thank Brian Flores for him as a man and blah 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 blah. But like, I really wish we could. Like, I wish we could put truth serum into Tua. I wish we could put truth serum into Flo, and we could figure out like, hey, what do they really think about each other? Which it sounds like not fond of one another by the end of it. Take a break.
I would say this about Tua. I think Tua was in a position where he respects authority. He respects the coaches or whatever. And so he's just going to let that play out, right? He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that was saying, I'm not having the success I want to have this because they limit me. That doesn't sound like him. That being said, Flores has never been all in on Tua.
Nope.
And I would just like, if I was the owner, I would like to know why.
No, I want to know. Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like, I still don't buy that he wasn't in on Tua, drafting Tua. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy a guy who has a 5-year contract, has say on the roster, they're going to stick him with a quarterback he never wanted. I don't buy it. Now, I do believe that he's a guy that does not have a lot of patience. That I think is clear, not just based on Tua, based on everything that he has done as a head coach. Right. Coaching staff, roster moves, free agents.
Alvanoy.
This guy clearly has the patience of a field mouse.
Like he traded a rookie.
Yes, his patience seems paper thin. So I want to know, what was the turning point with Tua? That's what I want to know.